Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Hi.
All right. This is episode 108 of Sports and Spaghetti. There it is. and we were just talking off air about steak. And so before we do anything, I think now's as good well, we're going to have some steak today. What's your favorite kind of steak? And tell me why it's not filet mignon.
Why it is.
Why it's not filet.
Why it is filet.
It's not. Filet is not the best.
It is.
Not by a long shot.
It is.
I don't care about what gets served at your house. You people are insane.
Dude.
You spend way too much money on lower quality meat than
Just say you're broke.
than a strip and then a sirloin.
Just say you're broke. Tell me you're broke without telling me you're broke.
A New York strip is not broke steak.
Don't tell me. Just tell me you're
and
broke.
a sirloin is. But a New York...
Neither a chuck, though, so that's okay.
Right. I'm not talking about a chuck shoulder, okay? But a shoulder roast one done right is beautiful. Little, like a pot roast. Nick, filet mignon is not the best.
You ain't doing filet right, brother.
It's too soft for me.
So let me. I don't even want to say this because I would have came in and said like a 10 out of 10 filet is better than a 10 out of 10 anything else, but I'm still a 10 out of 10 New York strip is still above a 10 out of 10 filet.
Of course. For me, the filet is a little bit too soft.
Yeah, I'd rather chew a little more and have a little more flavor.
Broke boys.
I want to get a toothpick and go in my teeth after.
And feel like a vaquero for a little bit.
Yeah.
Boys.
You call me whatever you want because you know what? You're broker than both of us, okay?
I don't know about that.
You're maybe not. I mean,
this is why we need your subscriptions, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
hey, it's almost balloon check time, okay? So I'm almost good for a little bit. Yeah, like and subscribe. Do this.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. See you next video.
You got it.
Listen to her.
Got it at the beginning of the episode this time.
Listen to
Do
her.
you want to take food out of her mouth? No, you don't.
Okay.
Like and subscribe.
All right. You want her to keep reading at a kindergarten level at 3? Subscribe. I can't do it all. Today, we have a real treat. And all three of us are dressed appropriately for something to come in this episode.
Indeed.
And if you're listening and not watching, well, you should watch.
YouTube.com, Sports and Spaghetti.
Yeah.
Subscribe, like, share. Tell your
That's
friends.
right.
Tell your friends.
We had a video on TikTok with over 4,000 views this week,
How about that?
which is just outstanding.
And of course, it was the she-bound merchant,
With a she-bound.
the
bricklayer.
me-bound, the bricklayer. Yeah, hold on.
The bricklayer comment
Whoever that was
absolutely brilliant, and it got flagged.
I'm gonna shout him out real quick.
It got flagged on TikTok, and I said, approve.
Shout out to Mike Cross T for saying bricklayer is trash, and also shout out to Brad Dickey for posting this picture. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah,
That's a good one. We'll put it up.
that's just outstanding.
Classic. It's a classic.
That stuff makes me happy. Seeing
Oh, yeah.
all that buzz about.
Oh, of course.
I think the votes.
Did you see this one?
I think I said that the other day.
you did.
Somebody, the vote count was like 450 to 18 for Caitlin Clark being better. That is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's like Angel Reese's shooting percentage. It's like 18 for 450. So it made sense. All right, Anthony. This is Globe on the Stove Southwest edition. And we're not talking about Southwest Asia. We're talking not yet. We're talking about the Southwest U.S.
We are talking about Southwest U.S. That is going to encompass Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, that area. barbecue is really what I was going for. Texas barbecue, but I wanted to give a shout out to some of those other states because they don't get the love they deserve. But today for the fellas, the plan was a brisket. I don't got brisket money. It was not worth the $90 to get a brisket this big for the three of us because it was going to go to waste.
Even if we all had a sandwich a day for 4 days, we're not going to finish it.
Mouse doesn't eat beef. I'm not going to start passing it out. So
neither Mouse.
Yeah. So I just I was going to go with a tri-tip sirloin. Didn't have those either. So
tri-tip's good.
I just went with the biggest, fattiest sirloin I could find because obviously it would be remiss if I didn't do one with fat. I have trimmed it off.
You know what I gotta say though? Anything that comes out of there will be better than filet mignon.
So what I did this week is I did 2 little Texas barbecue staples.
What is that? It looks like an egg.
So I have some brisket style sirloin, and then I have it's called
like a dinosaur egg.
It's called an armadillo egg, which is funny that you said it looks like an egg because that's what it's called. So it is. You can hold it up. It's pretty much it's good. It's good.
Crazy.
It is a jalapeno stuffed with chopped jalapeno, cream cheese, cheddar cheese. A little bit of a good seasoning blend that I'll go into a little bit later, and then it is wrapped in sausage, and then that sausage is wrapped in bacon, and then it gets put on the smoker.
That sounds like a sodium bomb.
It is. It's really good. But
I can't wait to try it.
The bacon, I'd peel it off because I went with thick cut bacon because that's what I prefer. But the outside is crispy from the smoker, the inside's a little rubbery. So I would just go with the inside. And then for the steak, again, I got the biggest, fattest piece of sirloin I could.
It honestly looks like brisket.
It does, yeah. So I put it on the smoker for a while. Why don't we dig into it, and then I'll tell the guys how I made it.
I like it. Cool. Let's do it. Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
We're back.
Hello.
We are not quite done, but Nikki is going to try this. What is it? An armadillo egg?
Armadillo egg.
Now, it's not an armadillo egg.
Armadillos don't lay eggs. They're mammals.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't like the cheese, bro.
Did you know that an armadillo...
Why does the cheese look like that, yo?
An armadillo...
It's like cottage cheese or something.
For those of you that care,
it's a cream cheese
armadillo...
with cheddar mixed in.
That's gross.
...is different from most mammals because it has no teeth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
Wow. And armadillos are southwestern creatures. Nick is about to have one right now.
That looks gross.
It's a good bite.
It's spicy. That would not be served. That would not be served in some houses, okay? That would not be served at many a house that I know.
I kind of agree with your off-air statement. Not fully.
It's funny though, right?
Not fully, but you
can see where he's coming from?
I can see where he's coming from.
Anthony, it was very good.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's start with the brisket. All right, but it's not brisket. It's sirloin, but it's masquerading, if I may.
'Tis masquerading
as a brisket.
All right, so we'll call it the brisket style sirloin
I want one more.
take it because that is the name of the. Oh yeah, I cut them real thin because that is the name of the episode. So obviously that's what we're eating. Anyway, what I did with this one is I did a dry brine. Now, what is a dry brine, you may ask? Well, you take some salt, you cover it, you put it in the fridge. At least 2 hours overnight is ideal. And Chris, as a science teacher, what does salt do?
It breaks down the meat.
Also,
it keeps the moisture in or draws the moisture out, depending on what you want.
So I was always told in high school and middle school, salt sucks because it draws out any of the moisture. And that's what it's going to do with the meat is it's going to take out any excess moisture. So you're not boiling the meat from the inside.
Right. That would not be good.
Nay, no, it wouldn't.
That's why you're supposed to salt the meat before you put it on the grill.
Right before you put it on the grill.
Right.
Yep. So salt, pepper, garlic was the first original seasoning after I did the dry brine for a couple hours. I took my stainless steel skillet, I guess, and you want to sear the steak first to get a good crisp on the outside. I didn't want to smoke my whole house up. So what I did was I actually brought it outside. I used it on my grill over the open fire so it wouldn't smoke my house up.
Anthony, for those, I talk about this grill a lot every time you grill something, and I rave about it. What kind of grill is it?
So I believe the brand is called Pitmaster. It is a combination of a wood pellet smoker and a grill.
And why are you able to put a skillet on it? Because that's kind of bananas for like a gas grill.
Yeah, so
you wouldn't do that.
Regular gas grills, you have your flame bars where you just propane it and then it lights it and then you have a flame. This is, it's literally wood fired. So I don't know if you've ever seen the startup. Chris has seen the startup where it's like, hey, we have to stand away because it's going to smoke us out.
Yes, and it sounds like a jet taking off.
It does. So what happens is you pour the pellets in the hopper. The hopper is going to push them into a little chamber. The chamber then ignites, and then you get your flame coming up.
It is good stuff.
It's pretty much over an open flame. That's why I was able to put my skillet on the grates and cook it like an open flame. So salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Higher smoke point oil would have been better. If I had any avocado oil left, I would have used it, but didn't have any left, so I just used my olive oil. And then I seared the ever-loving out of it on both sides to get a really good crisp. Once I did that, I let it rest for a little bit, and then I put on we'll call it my signature spice rub.
I like that.
My signature spice rub, I use this on everything, so I'll use it on this, obviously. You can use it on burgers. I use it on the pulled pork I do. I use it on, it's on the armadillo eggs. I use it all the time. And I don't want to give it away, but I think I'll give it away. So very simple. It's coarse ground black pepper, a lot of it, and that's what gives it the beef jerky taste.
And that's it. That's the seasoning.
No. Coarse ground black pepper. I do have some seasoned salt in it, some Lowry seasoned salt. I have some paprika, smoked paprika. I have some chili powder. I have a little bit of brown sugar. That's the bacon. See, I would have peeled the bacon. I have some light brown sugar, and then I have actually some coffee. There's coffee grounds.
There it is, Ant.
And then you shake it, and it's a little sweet, and then it's a little spicy, and it's all purpose, and I really like it, and you can use it for a lot of things. So that's what I like doing. So after I season that on all four sides, yes, I said 4 because you do top, bottom, and then you make sure it goes all the way around, essentially. Once it's seasoned on that, I had the smoker, turned it down to like 225, 250-ish, and I had some indirect smoking heat. So just let it smoke out. It was on the other side of the grill, not by the flame, and then it went for about 2 hours. Now, this is something you can serve medium rare, which is I wanted to do that, but I said, you know what, let me make it actually like a brisket. I was going to put some barbecue sauce on it, but I didn't feel like it.
Didn't need it.
But yeah, it's pretty simple. Like I said, indirect heat for about 2 hours. And then after that, after the 2 hours, I took some tin foil. You could use tin foil or butcher's paper or whatever you have. I wrapped it up, and then I did some cowboy butter, which is just butter and the seasoning mixed together. I put that on the top. I closed up the foil pack. I let it go for another half hour or so. And it had this really nice basting liquid that I then basted it with and then let it rest and cut across the grain.
Yummy, yummy. What do you have, Nick?
Am I rating them separately or together?
Separate.
You do them separate.
Okay. For the brisk.
I feel like it must be separate.
Yeah, I agree. For the fake brisket.
Fake brisket.
He's not wrong.
I'm going to give it a. I'll give it a 6.8 because I wish it was warm or hot. And
go heat it up.
And I'm not.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Is that not valid?
It's hard. It's hard for me to do that because I like it cold.
And I'm not a big beef jerky guy. Like
that is harsh.
How is that harsh? I don't like beef jerky.
You have been crucifying me on these.
I don't like beef jerky.
Wait, that's all right. Wait till my last one. It's going to get eviscerated.
I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't bad. And the other thing, the egg of sorts, I will give it 6.5.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, so that was higher than I thought he'd give that.
I agree. Well, I don't agree, but
Interesting.
You know, it tasted like the kefir, you know.
and Chris has to do some more editing.
No. That can stay.
So
That's what I said.
So you're
That's
gonna,
what I said.
So you're gonna get Mr. Walker. What does this mean?
No, they're
And then-
not.
Okay,
They don't care.
Well, now they are because you said it.
No, they're not. They're all doing it.
They don't
okay?
even make it this far in the episode, bro.
No, let's not misconstrue. Okay, I haven't given the word yet though,
true.
so they might.
It's true.
And I'm expected to talk soccer today, so they might actually listen. All right,
Who's
ready?
trying to sign in?
That's me. I love how all three of us are looking.
Yeah.
All right. The brisket the sirloin was just outstanding for me. That's a 9.0 for me. Which is closer to what I thought Nick would give it. I really liked it.
Bro, it's not my favorite cut of meat, and
Yeah, next time, Aunt, make filet mignon, okay? Make smoked
Okay,
filet.
these guys don't allow me to have preferences. Like Jesus Christ. And also, I don't like the seasoning, bro.
I'm not mad.
Like,
I'm not mad.
I don't
at
even
it.
not like the seasoning. I like the
I'm mad.
seasoning. I just don't like it, like, because I don't like beef jerky, and that's what it tastes like.
It's fine. It tastes like peppered beef jerky. It does. Yeah. All right, and the egg, I'm going to go with 6.5 with the egg. I think that score was right for Nick.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one. 6.5. I'm gonna go 6.5 on the egg too. This is something where I've been wanting to do it for a while, and this is the first time I did it. I think the next time if I make it, it'll be closer to a 7 or an 8.
It's beautiful. It looks cool.
It is pretty cool. So we'll go 6.5s across the board for the egg. Nikki, what did you have the sirloin at? A 6.8.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. This is hot. This is probably one of the better steaks I've ever made. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a 9.2.
Yeah.
My score has been sandbagged yet again.
Listen,
So that's
you
gonna be-
guys brought me on this podcast knowing I was a picky eater, and then expect me to like these wild foods you make.
It's wild.
You didn't expect me to be picky? You named me Picky Nicky. What'd you expect?
Fair.
Okay.
Come in next week, make chicken tenders and fries, and I'll give it a 20.
I'll make you chicken nuggets.
The worst chicken tenders and fries, I'll give it 10. Like,
Give him a Happy Meal.
yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, so the brisket sirloin comes down to an 8.33, and the armadillo egg is a straight 6.5.
Okay.
I eat pizza, chicken, and bagels, and you guys bring me an armadillo egg. And
a good score for the egg, actually.
love the egg of
I'm
armadillo.
not, Nikki. I think Chris is more upset with the score
You're
than
talking
I
about
am.
sandbagging over here.
Well, yeah, but do you want to finish that so I don't put
All
it
right,
back in there?
what was
No, because I got to talk soon.
what did it average out to?
8.3.
8.3.
Oh, okay.
8.33.
Very good.
So what, you're complaining about it?
I'm not the one
Because we
complaining.
had 9, 9, 2, 6, 8.
You gave my Chinese food a 7.
I did. I'm not a stir fry guy,
Oh, and I'm not a beef jerky guy.
and that's why I'm okay with it.
All right, then stay over there.
I think I'm mad. I think I got mad.
Yeah, you're-
Why are you? Yeah, why are you starting this?
Yeah, you're stirring the pot over there.
That's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get everybody riled up.
I have an
And I
honorable
did.
mention bad, by the way.
All right. Well, we'll get to that.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go for the good, the bad, and then the
Nah,
eh.
can we make the? Nah, you good.
What do you want the bad? What do you want to be last?
I was gonna say you can go good last because I had a good segue.
Then
planned.
let's go good last.
Thanks,
all right.
brother.
Yeah, but I
All
still
right.
have to do my honorable mention bad.
So why don't
Why
you
don't
start
we lead
it
off with that?
All right, well, lead me in, brother.
All right, Nick. Here it is. Go for it. Ta-da!
We've already been unhinged.
Ta-da!
You gotta add in some fun sound effect.
All right, this is in no
Jump
particular
to
order
8 major.
with Nick Walker today. All right, my honorable mention bad is people that do not play at pace on a golf course.
Oh, dear.
Okay, I played golf today right before I came here. Literally,
Sweet.
right before I came here, I started at 6 o'clock, walking 9 holes with me and one other person.
Where?
Candlewood. It took us 3 hours.
Oh, dear God.
Because the idiots in front of us, they were like 16 years old or something, hitting 5 tee shots, reading the green like Tiger from 80 feet out, thinking they're going to make it, and then he sends it past the hole another 80 feet on the other side, and then he reads that one like anything changed. Taking pictures.
Okay, so
God,
I don't
man.
play at pace like that. I'm there to have a good time. So if it takes a little longer, it takes a little
That's
longer.
fine.
But no, I'm not like reading the green. I'm not hitting 5 balls. Like no.
Yeah,
I'm good.
no, you don't have to. Like, I'm not saying play at pace, like be done in the time frame. I'm saying play at pace, like play like there are people behind you, because
like,
there are.
or let the people behind you
Play through.
go.
yeah, we were 2 and they were 3.
Not even that. It's like you were just faster. And that's when you just send a missile right into the group. I did that once to 2. Oh, you weren't there. No, we only golfed together once. I was golfing with Eli and Bry, and this is when I was kind of in a groove and actually hitting things straight. So there was these 2 very old Asian men playing golf, and they were playing at an Asian man's speed. So call me racist if you want. You know exactly how fast I'm talking. Not very. Anyway, they were not playing like they had a Pai Gow tournament to get to. Anyway.
Mojang.
Anyway, they were in front at a drivable distance, and they were like, no, you won't hit into him. Smoked it right into him. And what did he do? He turned around and sent it back at me. And I looked at Eli and I said, you have got to be kidding me. The best drive of my life.
It's coming back.
Sent it back.
It's coming back. That's
lovely.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get too off track, but you know the first hole and then the second hole are side by side,
Yeah.
going this way. Well, they almost hit us from the second tee box.
Oh, dear.
When we were in the middle of the fairway, it literally landed 10 feet from Lorcan.
I've also never played Candlewood.
No 4, no my bad. They didn't even hit that ball. They didn't even retrieve it.
Here, I'm going to give you an honorable mention bad because you just kind of talked about it. My honorable mention bad is when friends, Eli, are golfing with you and you hit a shot and you don't really know if you should yell 4 because you kind of can't tell where it's going. And instead of yelling 4, Eli, your friend looks at you and goes, yell 4, yell 4, yell 4, instead of just yelling 4. That's my problem.
That's valid.
I see my segment has been sandbagged.
It's been hijacked.
Listen, I saw your text for 9:15 today, and I was so happy because
you weren't getting here by 9.
it was 8:30 and we were only on 7 or something like that.
Oh, my God.
It's all right, brother. We had, I was coming in and I was in Park on the highway by Newtown again. Always.
It's the way it goes. Yeah. All right.
Back to Chris Walker for your real in no particular order.
All right. The as people that think Ronaldo is better than Messi. Let's just get that right off the bat, okay? I don't care that Ronaldo has more goals. I don't care that he's got more shots. I want to tell you this. Messi has gotten man of the match 418 times, and Cristiano Ronaldo has only gotten it 220. All right?
First off, both those numbers are insane.
Yeah, but one of them is twice as many as the other, okay? All right? Messi plays 72 minutes per goal. Okay? Ronaldo is nearly 90 minutes, which both of them are still better than a goal per game over their career. Let's be honest. There's no player more important to the sport than Leo Messi. And I don't really care who has an argument. We're going to hear about it on TikTok this week, and I want to know what people think. But I think the people that think Ronaldo is better are you can't trust them.
Hard agree.
I mean, I wrote it here. How is this still an argument in 2025? One is literally the GOAT. One just has abs and a very bad bronze statue.
This is true.
A revealing statue at that. Okay.
And one of them carried trash team to the World Cup.
That's right. Okay, ready? The bad, if that wasn't bad, then the bad has got to be pretty bad. And I'll tell you what. The boog shug. Okay? Stefan Diggs, allegedly, is on the boog shug.
He's on the mountain of snow.
And it's not the white garden variety. It's tickle me pink, like Sabrina's favorite crayon. Okay? It's pink boogers, sugars. On boats. I mean, it's not good. Don't even act for a second like it's good, Anthony.
He looked like he was having a good time.
That may be true, but you can't do that. You can't do it.
The women also looked like they were having a good time.
I think that's why he was having it. So, fun fact about this. I don't know if you remember this, but there was a TikTok a while ago. It was probably before it was called TikTok, or right at the beginning of TikTok. The Minnesota Vikings were like, who on the team would you not want to date your sister? Every single player said Stefan Diggs.
And now we might be finding out why. He can't do the pink shug.
It's not, I mean, it's not even that. It's like this guy, he's skipping OTAs. He's tweeting cryptic messages.
Xing.
He's Xing. He's Xing cryptic messages. The guy needs his own reality show.
Him and Antonio Brown both.
I'd pay to see that.
You know, it wouldn't be a problem if he was like actually producing like he's supposed to be.
I think he'll be good with Drake May this year.
Isn't that what they said about last year?
He wasn't with Drake May.
Yeah, but with
just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'll just move it over to you.
No, this is the last one. I want the end cap.
There's a better one in there, I think.
All right, ready for the good? The good is Florida hockey teams. All right? I know you're included in that, Nick. The Lightning had 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals appearances, and now the Florida Panthers have their 3rd straight Finals appearance. They are 1-1 in the last 2 years, so we'll see what happens this year when ultimately they will likely end up playing the Oilers. Well, we could find out during this show, possibly, if they end up playing the Oilers. But anyway, Florida hockey teams, there's something in the water down there in Florida and in the South in general, Anthony.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with they're in good environments when it comes to playing fan-wise. I mean, who would think in Florida there's going to be a lot of fans? But, I mean, they're packing the stadium. They're packing the arenas almost every night. It's tough to go into Florida and play. We saw it with the Leafs.
I mean, Tampa Bay has sold out every home game for the past forever. And the Panthers fan base, who has been called a fair weather fan base for a long time, is, well, they've got a lot to cheer about. So they're filling their stadium. They're filling the arena as well. And so it's good to see for Florida. I think Brad Marchand has helped things along there this season since the deadline. Like you said, Florida is becoming more hockey than Canada at this point.
And it's funny to think of it that way, but they really have been. I mean, 6 straight finals is insane. And it's funny that we talked about fair weather fans and we're talking about pretty much these dynasties of these same teams going, because
in the South here,
that's led us into the rest of the show, ladies and gentlemen. So the first thing that I kind of want to bring up, Chris originally came up with this concept, and I think it was after I sent a picture of the new Utah Mammoth t-shirt, which is sick, by the way. It's so sick. I sent it in the group chat, and then Chris was like, hey, man, why do teams in the Southwest, we're eating Southwest food, why do teams in the Southwest have such an issue holding on to franchises? And this really, it really stewed. I thought about this a lot over the last 2 weeks. And first off, I want to discount Vegas. I know technically Vegas is in like the Southwest of the United States. They don't count, right? They're not going to count because it's a novelty.
It's Las Vegas.
It's a novelty.
You know what? I actually reviewed the script, and I had a problem with this part.
Okay.
It's not a novelty.
You don't think so?
I believe... Okay,
that whole franchise is a novelty.
The Raiders are a novelty. The Golden Knights, their fans are diehard. Those are diehard true fans.
Out of what woodwork did they come?
What do you mean? Nevada? All right, so this just tells me you guys are very out of touch. Because if you scroll through any like hockey comment sections, Vegas Golden Knight comment sections,
crucified and hated. They are hated.
Yeah, they are hated.
They're one of the most hated teams because of how much of a novelty it is. The whole production.
Well, that was my thing by novelty.
So they're selling out arenas with diehard fans. Am I wrong?
I wouldn't say they're selling out with diehard fans. They're selling out with a lot of people where it's like, hey, we're in Vegas. Stefan Diggs just gave me the rest of his dime bag, and we're still up. Let's go do something.
All right, so we can go with literally any city with the exact same approach.
Well, fun fact, glad you said it, because you can't go Phoenix.
Yeah.
Because Phoenix has been a absolute dead spot in the Southwest. Nikki, that was great. Has been an absolute dead spot in the Southwest for fans. And I think that Arizona may have the most fair weather fans in the country.
Well, I mean, there was no better in my watching career. There was no better example of this than when the Coyotes would make the playoffs. Because they made it during the bubble when nobody could go. That doesn't count. But the last time they made it before, like 2011, Ilya Brizgalov, Nick, they packed it. They did the whiteout, Mike Smith, all that. They did the whiteout. It was a big thing. And then silent. Next season. There was no carryover momentum whatsoever.
No, you see it with all the sports. You see it with the Arizona Cardinals. 2015, when they got absolutely demolished by the Panthers in that NFC title game. I hang my hat on that because that was the last time I was actually happy. But that place was, they were selling out. I think it's like State Farm Field or whatever. They're selling it out. And it's packed, and people love Arizona football. And then you look at the Suns, and the Suns make a run to the NBA Finals, and it's like that place is rocking every single night. You look at the Diamondbacks, right? The Diamondbacks, Chase Field holds like 46,000 people. They were packing it out when they made the World Series. But recency bias here is you're thinking that, hey, they made the World Series, there should be some carryover. Well, the year after they made the World Series, they ranked 12th in attendance.
That's crazy for as big of a stadium that they have. And to be honest, in the last 25 years, they've had a lot of success.
They really have. Fun fact, that's why I'm wearing my Diamondbacks hat. Fun fact, I'm one day older than the Arizona Diamondbacks as a franchise. Isn't that cool? But that's the thing, is like they're having success, but they don't show up. Nobody cares about Arizona sports until they're good. And then it's like this switch gets flipped. And I think that has a lot to do with why they can't sustain franchises.
Yeah. I mean what a debacle it was with the Coyotes. I mean, moving from Glendale, they didn't even play in Phoenix.
No.
So they got renamed. Moving from Glendale to University of Arizona State, Mullet Arena. And then now being moved to Utah, where it's much better for them. It's just, I don't know why they even relocated down there, because
they came from Winnipeg, right? They were the original Jets.
Yeah, and it just is a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why they did that, but if you really look at the Southwest, you look at a lot of these states, you were talking about diehard fans, and I think it's tough for a lot of these up-and-coming teams like the Vegas Golden Knights coming out of nowhere, not relocating. It's tough for them to have diehard fans because most people that live in Arizona, most people that live in Nevada, they're going to retire there. So it's people from up here that are Bruins fans, Rangers fans, Yankees fans, Giants fans that move down to Arizona and they don't adopt the sports.
And that's what we were saying about Vegas.
Yeah. Like the Oakland games are going to probably be packed there because it's going to be a cool stadium. They're going to put on a production, and Oakland historically has a good franchise. I mean, to spite their owner, they packed out the stadium. It was like two or three straight sellouts.
The people.
And
Listen,
I mean,
man.
it's like a 4-hour drive from at least LA. It's like a couple-hour drive from LA to Vegas. So
Just scroll through the Instagram page of the Vegas Golden Knights. Scroll through the comments.
well, that's tough because even Minnesota, like if you scroll through Minnesota Twitter, it's like insane.
You scroll through the Islanders' Twitter, it's nonsense.
But, and you say, oh, it's because people go vacation in Las Vegas. You can do that with any city. And I think that's why Phoenix is failing ultimately, is because you don't there's nowhere to visit around Phoenix where you'd be like, oh, let me go to a Diamondback game.
True.
You have to be in Phoenix to be thinking about that.
Yeah, if you go there, it's like it's kind of the dilemma with New York where it's like there's other stuff to do. And New York, it's like you don't, or when people go to New York, it's like going to a Knicks game at the Garden.
Yeah.
You could not care about basketball, but you're going to a Knicks game at the Garden.
Yeah,
so you're
exactly,
going to go.
exactly.
If you're in, Phoenix, it's like, do you want to go to the Diamondbacks game where we can sit and sweat all day and not do anything fun? Or
Just not go.
we can go golfing because Arizona has like
Right.
10 of the nicest golf
Yeah.
courses in the country. Or we can go golfing, sweat, and have fun.
Or watch it on TV in the AC.
And the AC in
And
the
that's
hotel.
that's another thing too, is I do think the weather has a lot to do with it, because spring training they're packing stadiums for the Arizona Cactus League. They're packing stadiums because it's not blistering hot. But now it's like 103, 104 degrees on the daily, and you're like, I don't want to really do anything.
Right. It's tough. It's a tough thing in the Southwest. You know what also is tough, Anthony?
What's that?
Why the same teams? We talked about hockey. The same teams are always winning across sports, and none more right now, most currently, than in the NHL. We have the Panthers and Oilers about to square out for the second straight year, and I'm tired of it. I'm sick and I'm tired of the same teams winning. I think every team that I wanted to win this playoffs
Didn't-
lost.
Yeah. So I've kind of.
What are you doing, Nick? Sorry.
Oh, I'm looking at my shirt, seeing how many are in this current playoffs, because this is from 2018.
There's only like
The Leafs,
Kings,
the Capitals.
Vegas, Wild, Winnipeg, Avalanche, Lightning, Devils, Leaves, Capitals. Yeah, I think
there's
that's it.
9. Yeah.
That's a lot of them.
So I put a lot of thought into this, so I have it split into 3. I don't really know NBA, so I kind of was going to lean on you for that one.
Well, the
Nikki.
Warriors had the dynastic, the 5 straight finals
Of course.
appearances.
There hasn't been a lot of parity in who's made the playoffs, but there's been 7.
good,
This
right?
is going to be the 7th season in a row that there's a new champion. So
that
there's been a lot of different
that is
winners.
Cool. There's been it's been a lot of the same people, but people are rotating.
Yes.
So when it comes to the NHL, I kind of thought about it, and it's the steadiness of coaching in front offices, and then it is little to no player subtractions. You look at all these teams that are coming out, and it's the same it's the same 3 core lines, and they add 1 or 2 guys here or there.
Well, what I don't understand is, yes, you're absolutely right, but new teams are good every year in the NHL, and there's so much parity in the league. But then when it gets down to the last 8 teams, it starts to be like, wasn't this the same matchup last year?
Dallas just scored. Oh, Robo scored again.
Are they winning?
No, 4-3.
No. And you get teams like the Stars the last few years, the Oilers the last few years, the Panthers the last few years. It's just like, it's the same thing. When you get right down to the best teams, it's like, oh, the best teams are doing it again.
Well-
and the same teams that are supposed to win lose, like the Maple Leafs.
So you just had to get that in there. So my thing is, a lot of the time it's the front offices, they really know what they're doing. You look at all these teams like Dallas, like Edmonton, they finally have steady front offices. And then they're doing things that other teams just can't seem to figure out. So like the examples I use is Vegas with the LTIR cap like gymnastics that they do.
Yep.
Every year they add like 3
And
or 4
other teams have
players.
caught on.
Yeah, but I mean Vegas is kind of the best one at it, which is funny because they're new, but
Well, the Lightning started that out. The Lightning started that out right before they went on their cup runs during COVID. I mean, John Cooper has even said it. They were able to find loopholes in the rules.
So I would say, Chris, for the people that aren't really aware, explain what the LTIR loophole is.
Well, if you get guys on long-term injured reserve, they don't count against the cap as much as they would. And so once the playoffs start, you can add them because the cap kind of goes away. And you can add them back to your roster. A couple notable ones from the Lightning were Braden Point, Steven Stamkos. I mean, these are guys with big contracts. Nikita Kucherov, Victor Hedman. I think at one point, all of them returned after being out for a while. I think it was the 21 season. And that team wasn't even that good in the regular season, and that you couldn't win a game against them.
And that just, it allows them to stack up good players on all fronts, right, and then have a full attack.
And then we saw it with Vegas afterwards with Mark Stone, most notably. But you know what? Other teams have been doing that. A lot of teams did that this season. Multiple teams were playing this long-term injured reserve game. Toronto did it. That doesn't work. It never will work with them.
So,
but yeah, it's a thing.
Again, NHL-wise, you really look at the top teams, and it's a couple teams that are on the mountaintop that are making the conference finals every year. Dallas, Edmonton. You can put the Avalanche up there, and the blueprint is pretty simple. It's either have pretty much an all-star team or have a competent front office, because the Stars, yes, they have an all-star team, but they're taking players off other teams like trash heaps. They're taking players nobody else wants, and they're role players. Matt Duchene is one of them, and it's like this guy is getting paid by two franchises not to play for them.
Yeah.
And it's like Dallas is like, no, we're going to take him, we're going to make him, he's going to be a third-line guy, but he's going to be crucial to our run. And again, it's funny because the top tier teams, it always feels like they're in contention, and then it just feels like everybody else is rebuilding every single year.
It's tough.
And then, one of the sports that this is huge in too, because we've seen the same 5 teams make run at the Super Bowl, is going to be the NFL. And then this one's a little bit different to me. You've seen the Chiefs every year. You've seen Philly a bunch of times. We've seen, Buffalo, Baltimore, the usual suspects. Now, I think that Edmonton scored. I think that this is a thing in the NFL because there is no superstar carousel anymore.
I completely agree. Because I think the only sport that happens in is the NBA. And I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, there's no, and this is recent. The elite players are being, Evander Kane scored.
Yeah.
The elite.
By the way, Tom Wilson won that in a landslide on TikTok.
You did me dirty, though, because the clip was only you talking about Evander Kane being a bad father.
Well, I didn't want to, I wanted to do like a buzz.
Yeah, of course, but
controversial.
The elite players are getting signed into these massive contracts, and they're not going anywhere. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. That, and then there's one other thing that I've noticed, and there's a massive disparity, right? It's either the player, we'll use quarterbacks for an example. It's either the quarterback is elite or they're trash and they need to be replaced. There are no more average quarterbacks anymore.
I love that because, you look at guys like the guys you listed, the guys you just named, and then I like where you're going. There's no, Carson Palmer, Eli Manning, Joe Flacco, guys that can... maybe above average. I don't know if I would say that any of those guys. Those guys are all in a conversation for the Hoff.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. It's either you get Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, and Lamar, or you get the Giants situation, the Jets situation, a crappy Aaron Rodgers.
And you're not getting players like Russ that's been team jumping.
Right. You get Tommy DeVito.
You don't get Russ making the playoffs like all these other players used to. Like that 2015 Cardinals team we talked about, that was like 42-year-old Carson Palmer. That was his third team. Then you get the Kurt Warner situation where he's in the Hall of Fame. Great story. He was on like 5 teams.
Yeah.
Drew Brees was on 2. Like all of these players are now they're just staying with the franchise. And that's a huge credit to the franchises.
Definitely.
Because they've really figured out what the formula is, and they're sticking to it.
But they're not. What it's not allowing for is the bottom of the heap in terms of quarterbacks to kind of make that jump. Because then the good young quarterbacks want to be on the good teams underneath these guys who might be aging, behind the guys like Drew Brees, Joe Flacco, and Eli Manning. And now that's not existing anymore.
It's a very top-heavy league, and
the best quarterbacks are still young. So nobody's going to want to go to the Chiefs right now and play behind Mahomes that's up and coming.
Because he's, 29?
Right. They're going to want to go to a team who's developing, and then they have nobody to mentor them.
Am I crazy to say that a lot of the rookies that are getting drafted in the previous years are having a hard time keeping up as well?
Yes. I'm so glad you brought this up.
I mean, how about Bryce Young? Look right there. You know what I mean?
Even CJ Stroud took a step back this year.
I think the problem is they're not getting properly taught how to play quarterback in college. We saw with Jackson Dart. I mean, it's a whole big joke for people that don't know ball. Like the whole Gruden thing, where he's like, "Show me your cadence," and he's like, yeah, that's ha. But like, if you know ball, you're like, oh my god. Like Andrew Luck talked about it, and he's like, the whole pre-snap process. It's like you're trying to get them, to jump off sides. You need a good cadence to see if people are coming up or see if they're rotating coverages and like stuff like that. Or if they're going into a different shell, like you need a snap count. You can't get that by clapping.
No. This is not recess. This is recess. What Jackson was doing.
Yeah.
This is recess, Dart.
Yeah, I mean, you're not seeing the people like
Go.
I'm gonna be bold here. I think Arch Manning is gonna be the next superstar because of how he's handling college. He hasn't transferred. He has stayed with one school with one play caller. He's gonna learn the offense, and they've already said he's probably gonna stay, even though he'll be probably the first overall draft pick this year or second. He's gonna stay his senior year, and it's like nobody does that anymore. You don't see older quarterbacks come out, and I think that's the problem. You're seeing the older quarterbacks that come out are your journeyman guys, your Riley Leonards, your Kyle McCords, where it's like they're kind of average, and the reason that they're old is because they didn't leave after their freshman or sophomore year. And then you have the super young guys that have no development, like Anthony Richardson.
Right.
And it's like that's where you're getting this big disparity. But I don't think that there's a more top-heavy league right now than the MLB.
Oh, no. I mean, Anthony, just look at who the best are right now in Major League Baseball. I mean, Dodgers, Yankees, Houston, Braves. I mean, as a Yankees fan, it's fine. We're always talking about, all right, this team should be in the World Series. Again, here we are. The Yankees are a team that should make a run. The Dodgers should be way better than they are, but still, we talked about it. I mean, you correctly said, well, they're not going to just blow the doors off of everybody, they have a losing record in their last 15 games as a result. So, but still, I mean, they're still an elite team. Yeah. Houston, Atlanta. How about the Mets? They're not even in first place in the division.
I think the thing that's tough about that is it's the fact that there's no salary cap in the MLB. I think I'm a big fan of there should be a salary cap and a salary floor, so you don't have teams like the Pirates where Bob Nutting is just ruining the sport because he sees the Pirates as padding his pockets, and you have owners like Steve Cohen that are ruining the sport that have unlimited pockets, and they're like, yeah, we'll spend whatever, I don't care. The disparity of those is tough, but the markets, I think, is what really, really is dictating how these teams are good, because you don't really see small market teams make runs anymore.
I mean, how nice would it be to see a team like the Reds be good again? When was the last time they were really good? A long time ago.
I mean, it's literally
the Marlins. I mean, we could go on and on, name teams.
I mean, you could have there's so much going on right now in the NL Central, AL Central, where it's like middle of America, not a lot of media coverage, not these flashy cities, because let's be real, Cincinnati.
Dude, even the Red Sox.
But it's like, I'm saying like stuff like, you have Paul Skeens, you hear about Paul Skeens, Pete Crow Armstrong on the Cubs is having an unbelievable season, yet every single night, I know what Shohei Ohtani did on my ESPN
I know
app.
what kind of underwear he wore, too. And what color his socks are.
I get an Ohtani notification every single night. If I'm a baseball casual, you're gonna like 3 teams. You're gonna like the Astros, you're gonna like the Yankees, or you're gonna like the Dodgers.
You're not wrong about that.
That's true.
You are absolutely not wrong about that. And it is a shame. And this coming from 3 Yankees fans, but it's a shame that this is the way it is. With again, and now that's 3 sports. And if you want to go back the last 10 years, it's all 4 major sports.
Yeah.
He's very right though, because I genuinely can't remember the last time I was like on social media and I saw anything about like the Guardians or the Reds or
the Guardians,
the Marlins. I have no idea what they're doing. Any of them.
The Guardians were a series away from making the World Series last year.
And the only reason why teams like the Rockies and the White Sox are in the news is because of how bad they
Whoa,
are.
I was right about the White Sox too.
Not going to be the worst team.
Yeah, they're. I said they're not going to be the worst.
I was also right about saying the Rockies would not be second worst. Okay,
He was right about that.
I did say they'd be better than that, but I did say they would not be second.
You didn't
worst.
say what they'd be better at.
That's true.
Could be
They're
better
better at
at losing.
losing.
Yes, they're
They
much
sure
better at losing
are.
than second.
Oh man, yeah. But
Again,
it's all,
no, it's hard to be a diehard fan of sports right now. It's really easy to be a casual.
yes,
It's really, really easy to be a casual right now.
especially in this area.
Yeah.
See, I give credit to the NBA for doing like whether it's scripted or not. It's fun over there. You got Kevin Durant moving around, LeBron moving around. Giannis is probably moving this offseason. I mean, that's fun.
It also is on. I'd like to say it now again on record. If Giannis leaves the Bucks, I'm following him. Don't come at me for being a fair weather fan. I don't care about basketball. I just like Giannis.
And that's
Luka
fine.
got traded this season.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably all scripted, but
You're trading the superstars, and that's the difference
It's fun.
with the NBA, and that's the thing
The
too.
ratings are so up this season
But
in the NBA.
Look at
Way up.
Look at the NBA right now. All people are talking about is the finals. Look at the markets that were in the conference finals. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, not a big market. Minnesota, not a big market. Yes, the Knicks are a massive market,
But they haven't been this
they've
good
been
in a long
bad.
time.
They've been
and the
bad.
Pacers, like,
Indiana, yeah.
dude, the Fever had more people at their games than the Pacers did last year. That's a real stat.
Yes.
And the Pacers are going to walk to the finals.
Right. Well, I think there's no better time.
Let's not speak too soon. They're about to lose this game today.
Hell yeah.
And there's no better time to talk about the Knicks than to ask Nikki right now. Would the Knicks be anywhere without Jalen Brunson, Nick?
I have 2 hot takes about this, actually.
I'm going to have another piece.
Number 1 is they would be nowhere without him, as he just had another 32 piece and
I think he's averaging 32.
shot nearly 100%. They would be nothing without him. Yes, it is like honestly one of the coolest stories to know that like he literally went from 6-man on the Mavericks, backup for Luka playing like 15 minutes a game, to literally superstar, one of the best players in the league, one of the best point guards in the league, carrying the Knicks to the finals, maybe. But my hot take is that I also agree with the people that discredit him and say that he can't lead a team to winning a championship. He's not a 1A superstar. He's a 1B superstar. And I agree with that. He needs someone else with him to get this team. And I don't know if Cat is enough, because I think Cat's like another 1B guy. He needs a 1A with him. He really does.
Like who?
Probably a big, a Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, Jokic.
Go out and get
Guys like
Giannis.
those. Yeah, Giannis too.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy
I mean,
if
he'd
they
be
went to Giannis.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Jalen Brunson, the same guy that was 6th man of the year on the
Well, it's like,
Mavericks.
did you read the script?
Partially, yes.
Because that's everything you said is literally what I wrote on
Yeah,
the script,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
awesome. He was literally Luka's sidekick. That's all he was. And then what I really like about him is in recent memory, there's two people that I can remember that were like, nah, I want to be in New York. Jalen Brunson, Carmelo Anthony. And I think those are the two best free agent signings the Knicks have had in 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean he's brought a lot of fans back into basketball. And for somebody like me who hasn't been into it since like I was in high school, to be following every game, not watching per se, but following the Knicks again.
I actually care what the score is. Yeah.
Call me fair weather for liking them again because they're good, but it's hard. It's hard to be a fan of a lot of bad teams. Okay? Listen, it's hard to be a fan of a lot of bad teams. We can't be fans of bad teams in all sports. So, there you go. You heard it straight from the basketball man himself.
Sports are in a really weird position right now if you really think about it. Yeah. All of the main sports that are putting out good product on the field are being dominated by the same four teams, and that'll drive us crazy. And then the sports that are putting out not so good product on the court is the fun one to watch, where superstars are always moving, and it's a new team in the final. What'd you say? Seven straight different
champions. Yeah,
that's awesome. We're in a really weird place.
Yeah, no matter who won the championship out of the Final Four this year, would have been a new champion.
Yeah,
which is awesome. But yeah, watching basketball like regular season is tough.
I mean, the product has just gotten so bad,
yeah, especially with all the fouls and stuff. So, yeah, I think Anthony said it very well.
Very good. Grammys Grinders of the Week. Anthony?
Okay, so my Grammys Grinder of the Week, and I'm sorry to both of you, but it's relevant to the episode and it's relevant to last night. My Grammys Grinder of the Week is Matthew Tkachuk. The Florida Panthers were down 2-0 in that game yesterday, and Matthew Tkachuk started the scoring. They ended up winning 5-2, clinching their third straight trip to the Stanley Cup Finals. He had 7 points in the series versus Carolina, which is obviously it's more than a point per game. Not the best series he's ever had, not the worst series he's ever had, but again, point per game. And guess what? Do you know where he's from? Scottsdale, Arizona.
There you go.
Matthew Tkachuk, Grammys Grinder of the Week.
All right, my Grammys Grinder is Jamie Vardy. He played his last game for Leicester. He will be a free agent at the end of the season.
So will Jamie Benn.
It was announced, and he's been linked to Newcastle. He's been linked to Leeds. He's been linked to a lot of teams. And it's time for him to go play on a good team. He doesn't deserve to go down to the championship again after 13 seasons with Leicester. All the loyalty and the records. He is Leicester's all-time leading scorer with 143 goals. Just an incredible career for them. He has the record of scoring in 11 consecutive Premier League games. Most unbelievably is that Leicester City won the Premier League at all. Okay? 10 years ago.
Their odds were like plus 16,000 or something absurd.
I mean,
they were supposed to be like bottom table, like almost relegated.
They came up 2 seasons prior, finished 14th the first season, and then they won the next season. So it's just incredible.
And he's solo carried, like for real.
What's amazing is that there's not a lot of teams that have won the Premier League. Okay? And this is what I mean. Liverpool and Manchester United have 20 each. Arsenal 13, Man City 10, Everton 9, Villa 7, Chelsea and Sunderland 6. And then a bunch of them have between 1 and 4. And that's it. It's really the same teams that win every year. So the fact that Leicester did it puts them in elite company, and Jamie Vardy's the reason why. Nikki?
Mine is going to be my good friend Lorcan Dunn. I went golfing with him today, and he hit one of the greatest shots I've ever seen in real life. Maybe even on TV. with a golf club, and it was basically he was under a tree, and there were like 10 trees in front of him, and a pond, and then a fairway. And I said, why don't you just punch it out there and skip it across the water? And why, golly gee, he did exactly that.
Golly gee, he did just that. He
punched it with a 5 under the tree, skip once, skip twice, out over the water, and right on the edge of the rough. It was unbelievable. Like, to do it and mean to do it.
That's awesome.
Was awesome. And he also hit like a 60-foot putt today, too, which was insane. But that... planning to do something like that and actually doing it is so sick. Is he any
good?
No, that's why he's a Grammys grinder.
Oh, wow.
Because he's a stinker.
He's a stinker.
Sometimes.
I love it.
He could probably take me. I'm not good.
That's okay.
We've yet to golf together, Nick.
Yeah, we still haven't scheduled our Sports and Spaghetti golf outing.
Yeah.
The week after school ends, we're going.
Cool.
All right.
I'm down.
Book it.
Count me in.
We will have lots of fun.
We'll have to record some stuff
we
out
have
there.
to get lapel mics.
Yeah.
We
For
can
sure.
manage that.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't wear one.
Yeah, we can censor it. It's all right.
All right, hey, do this again, and I'm not done. The Grammys Grinder word of the week.
The Grammys Grinder.
Wow. It's late. It's late.
Yeah.
You know what? This week's word of the week is brought to you by Grammys Grinders, okay? The Grammys Grinder word of the week is a natural disaster where an earthquake happens under the water and the water comes rushing in and it does not stop and it causes a lot of problems.
That's the true definition
That
of rushing
is
in
the
and causes a lot of problems.
That's the Mr. Walker's Grammys Grinder Jolly Rancher word of the week.
Please help. I am under the water. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Oh my God.
No. Keep it PC, Anthony.
No, it's PC.
Yeah, pug out.
No, it's not. It's
God.
not. Little more west.
A little more stinky.
Come on.
I didn't say it.
Oh, my. Are you going to play it?
Yeah.
Okay. Just give me the audio.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
And there you have it.
New York Islanders, only team to lose 3 straight conference finals since 1968.
Why is that relevant?
It just popped up. It literally just popped up and went away. There's not even a score bug. It just popped up. Islanders got
no
dunked
reason.
on, and then it went away.
Yeah, for no reason.
I want to cry.
That was awesome.
That's not fair.
I was like, oh, why is the Islanders logo down there? Did they make a trade or something?
Somebody probably hit the wrong button. That's going to be next year, since it's
They're not making the conference final next year. Don't kid yourself.
It was 75 through 78.
They made up for it at the time.
Yes.
Well. Yet again, we've gone off the rails.
That was so mean. Follow us on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod and on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod, and watch us on YouTube and everything like that. And I hope everybody had fun, because we did. Take us away.
Before we take it away, I do want to give a shout out. Sports and Spaghetti, we are a t-shirt sponsor of a very special company, a very special thing. It is my mother's job, so a special shout out to A Behavioral Approach. I went to their fundraiser last week, and it is for kids with learning disabilities on the autism spectrum.
Nice.
And we are very proud to be one of the t-shirt sponsors for their field trip t-shirts. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. It was really fun. Had a good time meeting all the kids and everything like that. So as always, that's Nikki, that's Chris. We have significantly less steak than I came with. As always, take care of your loved ones. Please help. I am under the water. And as always, stay full.